Good morning, guys. Don't forget I've got today off because it's NFP and it's basically just like a roller coaster casino stop hunt scenario to both sides, upper and lower. And no doubt, if you've got like tight stops, you're probably going to get raided. So it's probably not ideal scenario if you're trading sensibly to really trade the NFP. It's going to come up to take your stops out, and it'll come down to take your stops. So the volatility will really increase at the NFP, and it'll just use that excuse to take your stops. But it's actually daylight robbery, and it's actually quite criminal. Also, what is also another criminal thing is how skewed the bears have become, because we're at a historic high. We've never been this skewed on the QDB risk calculation ever. Okay, so we've got 25 people selling indices versus the one person buying. So that's getting very, very crazy. And it's a little bit mental, really, because the bears need to be given up. They can't be adding, which they have been. They've been adding short on France 40 and DAX, Sui German 40, really, to be fair. I'll change that. And UK 100. So they've added shorts. So I'll remember I need to change this DAX. I'll do this after the video. But yeah, just to say that they've added shorts, so we might have to continue higher because of that. But we're so extreme, we have to take a breather. The indices can't go one way. It can't be one-way traffic. There has to be zigzags. Okay, so I think what we might see is a little breather potentially today, a little bit of risk off perhaps, and then by the close we'll probably pump, because we are risk on at the big picture, risk on at the 24-hour difference, and the technicals improved as well. So really any dips probably should be bought, really, but whether or not you want to be buying at the highs, that's the danger, that's the risk. So this is why I'm avoiding today. Okay, QDB scores, risk on currencies at the top, so that's of note. Risk off currencies at the bottom. Yeah, so the currencies are telling us that we're going to be risk on today, and of course we might have a big reversal in risk. If so, then we're going to see big changes on the scores, but as they stand we are risk on, looking at the currencies and the QDB scores. Okay, so you could theoretically look for longs if it's red up here, because we've just retraced where we got a good score. Okay, robot, it's yeah, we're just positive, which is cool. I think we just had a small loss actually on NU, I think, but we're doing okay. We're up on the week quite a bit, but all depend on today. It might go really bad. If it does, perhaps we can just put the robot to sleep on CPI days, NFP, FOMC, so we got that next week as well. So perhaps we'll let it run today. We'll let it run for FOMC. If it goes badly today and for the Federal Reserve interest rate decision, then we can just deactivate it on those risk events, which kind of makes sense because it was doing really, really well up till today. I mean, we're doing okay now, but we don't know what the result is when we see those stop hunts being taken. It could be a bit catastrophic for our robot. So we'll see how we go today. It might be alright, we don't know. That's the trouble. And we'll see how it goes for the FOMC. If it doesn't go well for both events, we'll just simply deactivate the robot and let it have like a little sleep, and then we can waken it up the day afterwards. So that's probably maybe a good strategy to take. And we had a decent sell set up on gold. We went up to take the SLC, and we came down a bit, but I did get out because I didn't like this price action here. It sort of pumped a bit, and so I decided to get out. It made a bit of profit. See, my entry was there 2037 and the stop was at 2040. So if you're using a traditional standard broker, that might have got you stopped out, but IC Markets has got a really good tight spread, so I didn't get stopped out there, and triggered. Came down quite a bit actually, made some nice profit, but then of course it did this. I was like, oh god, so I just got out, and it's that retracement that kind of catches you out a little bit, but it's okay. Had a good week. It looks like it might continue to fall. This diagonal line is just yesterday's price action pushing higher, took out the stop, and that was our entry, like I say, and of course we came down. And I think what might happen is we were going to get the stop loss clusters, and then we do this probably to FOMC next week, and then we could, or you know, something like that. So we're just going to take stop loss clusters this week, but we'll see how we go with the robot. And if it goes well today, then that's going to be really cool, and then it'll put it in good stead for the FOMC. So if it can handle an NFP, it should be able to handle the, you know, the Federal Reserve interest rate decision. There's gold, so you know we're just sideways, so we're just going to get SLCs. Okay, so that's no comment there on gold. S&P, and so we're just chopping, crazy chop. They had sold it at the doji. See the doji there. So if you are a technical analyst and you know how to spot dojis, they can be good entries because they confused the hell out of the retail guys, and it did cause them to sell. So what would probably happen is we went up and came down very quickly, and the volatility probably pumped on its way down, and that encourages the hive mind, the herd, to sell when the volatility increases. As it declines, it encourages them to sell, and it certainly did. So like I say, just keep an eye on these dojis. If you're you know, if you're technically minded, you can spot them quite easily. And I know it doesn't, you can just spot them, you know, just look left. There's one there, for example, but it didn't really coincide with a crossover, but this one did. Okay, and then obviously you need this indicator, you know, to get the buy. And we came up there and to the supply, which was created here. Okay, so we had a retest there. US Fed did exactly what I said it was going to do. It's going to come up and test that. So we had the crossover, and we can draw a box there, and I'll show you what I mean. I said we were going to come up to test this, and we did. See? Right, so we had a supply because they went long, and it wants to retest the supply, and they might inevitably go long, or shall I say less short. So if they do start to buy, this is going to be a resistance, and down will come. So it'll be a really interesting day today. And DAX, and then that's today's video. So maybe the robot will be okay today. Like I was saying, you know, they're going long, so we really should be falling, really, but this is being naughty, and it might just be tracking something else like the US indices. It might be looking at the government bonds, but really we shouldn't be coming up higher because they're going long. So this is like a phony candle. Alright, so it might just want to, I think what it might do, it might just want to get that high, and then that'll break them and it will destroy them, and then they'll give up. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to get these guys out, perhaps, because they're causing a crazy skew. Once they're out, then we can resume normal zigzags. But at the moment, we just got a zig. There's no zig or zag. It's just zig. Right? It's just one-way traffic. Getting them out of the casino, we can start retracing, and you know, normal price action will start. But this isn't particularly normal, and it needs to get these guys out. Of course, by having normal price action, you get better opportunities for the big fish. They're looking for longs and shorts, aren't they? You know, they're looking for decent entries, getting a good yield. But if it's just going one-way traffic, they're just going to hold on until these guys give up. And it looks like, you know, maybe they're going to give up. They'll have to give up at that all-time high, I think. So there's today's video. Some horrible antics and shenanigans there, but it's possibly that's what it's going to happen. Just raid that, and it'll just destroy them, and they'll have to give up. And then they're like, why did I sell? I'm so stupid. Oh my god, my god. And it's like despair, and then they'll give up, and then they'll have humongous losses, and then the big fish will take those stops, and then they'll be really happy, and then that's finance. So you've got to be careful, and I guess I'll speak to you guys on Sunday. Remember, I'm off today, and remember to trade safely. And NFP is probably going to take out stops, so be really careful today, especially if you've got good risk management and using tight stops. It'll probably take you out, so you might want to avoid the NFP. It's completely up to you, and I'll speak to you guys Sunday. I wholeheartedly recommend fxsi.com and their indicators for MetaTrader 4 and 5. It's a 7-day free trial, so do have a look. There's no credit card required. You might be lacking in some sentiment awareness, analysis, and it does complement technical and fundamentals very well. especially if you're very technical, you could be missing out on some sentiment, or if you're particularly fundamental, you could be missing out on some sentiment. This is like a sweet zone. It complements both, and it gives you a very strong bias about direction as well. So technicals are great for direction, fundamentals are great for direction, but the sentiment sits in between. Okay, and so perhaps if you're missing out on some sentiment awareness, these are the best indicators in existence in the world for that. And then you can have a look at this. You've got a 7-day free trial, and you've got your order book, and you've got your indicators, including the ratios, which are amazing. Just look at my videos on my YouTube channel and you can see how powerful the ratios are. And you can have a look. Just take your time. You've got 7 days to trial them, and if you don't like them, then that's fair enough. You don't have to renew, but we do have a code if you want to, and it's just the QDB code, and it gives you a 10% discount, and that's it. So have a look, see what you think. And like I said, it's a 7-day trial, so you don't have to renew, but I think you'll probably find you will renew afterwards, because the order book and the ratios and the stop loss clusters as well are amazing. The stop loss clusters are great because you know where to target. Okay, so that's where you take profit, where people get stopped out. Okay, and that's it. So just a quick plug for the fxside.com, and enjoy your day.